Bob Robb is an outdoor writer from Arizona. He works in the outdoor magazine world, and he's here for an antelope.
I'm an outdoor writer, and I've been an outdoor writer since 1978, and currently I'm the editorial director for Grandview Media Group and GrandviewOutdoors.com, and our magazines include Bow Hunting World, Archery Business, Whitetail Journal, Predator Extreme, and several others. I first met Scott and Angie back, more than a decade ago, and we just got to be friends, and how can you not love Angie, of course. And Scott, he's a little harder to take, but he grows on you after a while. They go out of their way to show you a really, not just a good time, but a quality hunting experience. They hunt private land where there's lots of game. They don't overhunt it. And so all their clients always, with very rare exceptions, get a quality shot at whatever animal they're trying to harvest, whether everything from antelope to elk to bears or whatever. It's just a great place to come and have a good time and have a high success rate.
Bob Robb is out at Table Mountain in a ground blind, waiting on an antelope to come into his watering hole. He's been in the blind since sunrise, and he just isn't seeing any shooter bucks. As he waits, he takes in the western landscape from his blind, appreciating all the land has to offer.
Well, that was our second doe. It's now 10 o'clock. Temperature's gone up probably 35 degrees since this morning. There's another little group on the hill. There's one buck there, so we're just waiting for them to get thirsty to come see us and visit their buddies over here behind us that are bawling like sheep, because there's about 100 of them.
Now it's 98 degrees in the blind and we're melting, and there's a bunch of does and stuff sitting off on the hillside. We're watching them and we think, there could be a buck there somewhere, we don't know. And then now it's like 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the evening. We've been in the blind since, 5:30 in the morning, I guess. We're sweltering, we're hungry, we're starting to hallucinate. And then we look out and here come some does. Cool. So we're kind of getting ready, getting our blind closed up. Kelly's got the camera on, and I'm kind of getting excited. Then we look way off in the distance, and I see a big bunch of dust. And I think it's a herd of antelope, but it's not. It's sheep. And they're running, but all of a sudden, out of that pack of sheep, here comes something that breaks off, and we put the glasses up, shooter. And this lone buck comes racing in. He gets to the water, he's at 50 yards, he's at 45 yards, he's at 40 yards. I'm like, okay, I better take a shot if I have it. Well, here I am at Table Mountain Outfitters. We're just partly into the season. The antelope are starting to move a little bit. They're thinking about the rut coming up, and so we know that even if you're in a spot where you haven't seen one, maybe one can cruise by at any moment, and all of a sudden it goes from 0 to 1,000 in seconds. So we saw a couple of does and they came to water, and so okay, they're gonna come here if we get one, so we know what the shot's gonna be. And then it got to be 2 o'clock, and here came some more does, and an old buck. His ribs are sticking out. I doubt he'll make it through the winter. He just wasn't a shooter.
It's 2 o'clock. We finally had a buck come in. It's also 100 degrees in the blind. And he's probably 105 years old. You can see all his ribs. And he doesn't have any horns left. So we're going to pass on him and swelter some more and see if something else shows up.
He gets to the water, he's at 50 yards, he's at 45 yards, he's at 40 yards. I'm like, okay, I better take a shot if I have it. And what I do is I like to set an arrow out of my quiver right up against the edge of the blind in case I take a shot and then I need to make a quick second shot. So I have that arrow really handy. Well, it's nice and calm, the arrow's sitting there. All of a sudden we get a gust of wind, it pops the blind wall, the arrow slides down the thing, and that buck hears that noise, and it doesn't terrify him, but he's done with us. So now he just turns and he starts walking in front of us, and it's like a get on him. So I draw back 35 yards, have to not try to shoot the blind. It was pretty crazy there. Shot, and the Lord was with us because I hit him right in the ribs, and he didn't go 40 yards and down he was. So all of a sudden we went from 0 to hero in like 5 minutes. I grew up like most people as a rifle hunter, and I still love to hunt with rifles. But I took up bow hunting back in the late 70s when compound bows were just actually becoming a viable tool to hunt. And the one thing, and my way to explain to people the difference between rifle hunting and bow hunting is pretty simple. When you come to a hunting camp like here at Table Mountain Outfitters, where you meet a lot of different hunters, if you're in a rifle camp, everybody flips up their phone and they show you pictures of all these animals they've killed. When you go to a bow camp, people don't have as many pictures, but they have stories. Oh my goodness, I got so close, but he moved, the wind switched, the range changed, I shot over his back, he was bugling in my face and I got so nervous I forgot to knock an arrow. There are millions of stories. It's so much more challenging and so much more exciting. And by the same token, when you actually make a shot and take any animal, regardless of whether it's a doe, a buck, of any size, the success it's so satisfying. That's why I like to bow hunt. It's really hard and very challenging and very, very satisfying.
Bob watched his antelope go down from his blind and made the call to Scott and Angie that he had his animal down. Once they arrived at his blind, it was a short walk over to start taking pictures.
In closing, pronghorn hunting to me is the epitome of the West. Everybody thinks mule deer and elk, and that's all great, and bears and whatever. But the pronghorn is extremely numerous. I call it every man's animal. Anybody can pronghorn hunt and be successful, whether you come with a rifle, a crossbow, a bow, a muzzleloader, it doesn't matter. There's lots of animals. The trophy quality really doesn't matter too much. You're looking for a nice one or whatever. But it just epitomizes the West, and the meat is some of the best you'll ever eat if you properly take care of it. So the years that I don't pronghorn on, I just feel like I've missed something out, and I'm getting old in the tooth now, and I don't think I'll miss another season as long as I can walk. So come pronghorn hunting, and, you know, enjoy the life at Table Mountain.